Did you see my story online? Every word, every picture, every silence in between. It was my heart trying to reach yours. I didn't post it for attention. I posted it for you, to remind you I still feel you, even from miles away. You think I share my life randomly? Number. Every song, every caption, every glimpse, it's a whisper of your name. My story wasn't about vanity, it was about longing. My quiet way of asking if you still look for me. When I posted that story, I hoped your heart would pause for a second and recognize mine behind it. I wonder if you knew that story was my way of saying, I miss you, without saying it out loud. Every time I hit post, I imagine you seeing it, pausing and realizing it's you I've been talking to all along. That story wasn't random. It was a piece of my soul I left out there, hoping you'd pick it up. My story wasn't meant for the world. It was meant for the one person I can't message anymore. I wasn't showing off. I was showing you what my silence has turned into. Quiet desperation wrapped in beauty. You probably thought it was just another post, but it was my secret message to your heart. I didn't tag you, but every word was your name in disguise. My story was my way of saying, I'm still here, hoping you'd notice before I finally disappear. I wish you knew how many drafts I deleted before posting that one story that said everything I couldn't tell you. You didn't see my story by accident. It found you because my soul still remembers yours. When I posted that story, I wasn't chasing likes. I was chasing your attention. One last time. I didn't want to message you directly, so I told the world a story that only you could understand. That post wasn't aesthetic. It was emotional camouflage hiding my last confession. I wonder if your heart recognized me between the lines of that story I shared. My story was a love letter written in pixels, every frame a heartbeat, every word a whisper to you. I didn't need to mention your name. You'd feel it in the pauses, in the unspoken ache. Did you notice the song I used? It wasn't random. It was our song, the one that still hurts to hear. That story wasn't content. It was closure dressed up as courage. Sometimes I post so you'll know I'm still breathing in a world that doesn't feel right without you. You were the reason behind the smile in that story, even if no one else could tell. My story was me pretending I've moved on, while my heart still checks if you viewed it. I don't post often, but when I do, it's always a silent call for your soul to look back. I hope you saw it and felt something, because every second I spent creating it was a memory of you. That story wasn't for the followers. It was for the ghost of us that still haunts me. Every time I share something, I wonder if you'll understand it's my way of saying, I'm still not over you. That smile in the story wasn't happiness, it was survival. A smile made for you so you'd think I'm fine. I told a story online, but in reality, it was my heart breaking in high definition. You might have scrolled past it, but I lingered on the thought of you seeing it. That story wasn't just about me, it was about everything we left unsaid. You were the invisible audience I had in mind the entire time. That post was a love letter hidden behind filters and captions, waiting for you to decode it. I don't know if you saw it, but if you did, I hope your heart understood the message mine was sending. I posted that story hoping you'd see me the way you once did, unfiltered, raw, real. It wasn't a coincidence that I posted at the same hour you're usually online. That story was me trying to start a conversation with your silence. I wish I could tell you how every view from you feels like a secret hug I'll never admit to. That story was my love letter disguised as confidence. I posted it because some part of me still believes you're paying attention. My story was a scream softened by music and filters, just to look like art instead of pain. That story wasn't about showing off. It was about showing you what you're missing. I don't care who else saw it. I only cared if you did. I shared that story knowing the world would misunderstand, but praying you'd understand perfectly. That story was my soul pretending it wasn't broken anymore. When I hit post, it wasn't just a click. It was me saying, I still think of you. You're the reason I still post, even when I swear I'm done with social media. Every emoji, every lyric, every glance, it all belonged to you, hidden in plain sight. That story was a confession too risky to send in a text. You didn't just view my story. You viewed a chapter I wrote only for you. That story was my silent apology, wrapped in aesthetics you'd recognize. I wish you could see beyond the pictures, to the trembling heart behind them. That story was my last attempt to remind you I still care, even when I shouldn't. I know you saw it. I could feel it, the same way I always feel you, even in silence. My story wasn't just a post. It was a cry for you to remember what it used to feel like between us. You think it was just coincidence? Number. I posted it because my heart still times itself around your presence. I didn't want likes. I wanted your attention. Just once more. Just enough to remember me. Every time I post something beautiful, it's me trying to remind you I still exist somewhere behind that screen. I wonder if you smiled, even for a second, when you saw my story. That thought alone keeps me alive sometimes. That story was my little rebellion, showing the world I'm okay while secretly hoping you'd read between the lines. You may have thought it was a random post, but it was my quiet way of whispering, I still love you. I never said your name, but every word in that caption was a memory of you pretending not to care. You used to know my silence. I wonder if you still know my hints. That story was my last hope that maybe, just maybe, you still look for me like I look for you. I didn't post for the crowd. I posted for one pair of eyes, the ones that once made me believe in magic. That story wasn't art, it was ache. It was the version of me that still belongs to you. I keep telling myself I'm over you, yet every post turns into a letter I wish I could send. I didn't want to message you directly. I wanted you to feel me, not just read me. My story was my heartbeat disguised as confidence, hoping you'd hear it before it fades. You think I've moved on, but if you look closely, my stories still spell your name in silence. Every post is a test to see if you'll notice, if you'll remember, if you'll care. That story wasn't random timing. It was the exact moment I knew you'd be online. I wonder if you paused, even for a second, and thought, that's for me, because it was. I tell myself it's just social media, but deep down, I still wait for your view like a sign from the universe. My story was my heart trying to reach yours through a screen that feels colder every day. You may have scrolled past it, but that post was a goodbye written in code. It's funny how I still post for you when you stopped looking for me long ago. That story wasn't meant to impress, it was meant to haunt. I chose that song because it used to be ours, even if you've forgotten. I hope your heart skipped the same beat mine did when I saw your name in my story views. Every filter, every caption, it's all just me dressing up my heartbreak so it looks poetic. I didn't need a response. I just needed to know you saw me, even for a second. You're not in my life anymore, but somehow you're still the reason behind every story I share. That story wasn't confidence, it was courage wrapped around pain I no longer know how to hide. I keep posting pieces of my heart online because I'm too scared to send them directly to you. I wanted you to see how I've grown, but part of me wanted you to miss the old me too. That story wasn't closure, it was the wound saying, I'm still bleeding for you. Sometimes I post hoping you'll finally say something. Sometimes I post knowing you won't. I didn't post it for pity. I posted it because I can't say your name anymore without trembling. That story was a silent confession. Every lyric, every glance, every pause. It was me missing you. I wonder if you noticed how the lighting matched that one night we never talk about. That story wasn't content. It was the last thing keeping me from falling apart completely. You saw the smile, but not the tears right before it. That story was my mask. I used to post to share my life. Now I post to remind myself I still have one without you. That story wasn't just a coincidence. It was the memory of us refusing to die quietly. You might have scrolled past it, but for me, it was everything I never got to say. My story was me pretending I've healed when deep down I'm still writing you in every sentence. Every post I make is an echo, hoping one day your heart will answer back. That story wasn't a flex, it was a flashback. You just didn't notice. I wanted you to see what you left behind, not out of revenge, but remembrance. I still check who viewed it, like I used to check if you still loved me. That story was a message wrapped in pride, something only you were supposed to understand. I didn't post it for closure. I posted it because part of me still believes we're not done. You saw my story, but I hope you felt the silence underneath it louder than words. My story was me trying to prove I've moved on, even though I still dream of you. It wasn't a random post. It was my heart pretending it's fine without you watching. I didn't post to show you what you lost. I posted to remind myself I was real once. With you. That story was a photograph of everything I wish you still remembered about me. I wonder if you smiled the way you used to when you saw my face again.